This scene that they keep showing is one of the most famous scenes. If you don't know why they keep showing the scene, it's one of the most heartbreaking scenes you've seen of abuse and her laughing at her children. In this video, and I've covered it, you go check it on my channel, she literally laughs at Chad because he says he has no friends. He can't because of the way that she parents. And the other kid on the other side, they don't have any friends. She's just laughing at them. That's it. She just sits there and laughs at them. And it's the most heartbreaking thing I've ever seen.
But the real backlash and criminal charges came in 2023 after Ruby's youngest son reached out to a neighbor for help.
Hi, I was just wondering if you could do 2 favors.
Well, what are they?
Taking me to the nearest police station.
The then 12-year-old.
Every time I see that and the guy's like, seems annoyed at first because he's a kid. Well, what are they? And then he hears, take me to the police station and can I have some water or food? And then the guy just, his heart breaks. And that's such a heartbreaking scene. And that scene alone right there should put Ruby in jail for 20 years plus.
Broke free from duct tape shackles around his wrists and ankles that investigators later described in great detail.
And then medical got there, they started cutting the stuff off him.
And it's not just the binding, it was that they treated it with like cayenne pepper and stuff like that to make it hurt more. It was,
and then you can see like the dark around his ankles, and it you could smell it, the flesh.
I don't know how police don't like get more upset, and I understand why they would. I understand why they would, but like being in this situation, I would have to like I have to leave. Like I would be so upset with these people for doing this to a child. Like I don't know how they keep their composure. I mean, they're trained to, and I understand that, but damn, seeing all that.
Underneath the tape, as soon as they took it off, you can, even outside, you can smell the flesh.
At the time, the boy and his younger sister were being held in Jody's Ivins, Utah home. The emotional moments he asked for help are caught on Ring camera video, as are the moments he and his sister are finally seen by first responders.
2-2-1-5-1-2. I just had a 12-year-old boy show up here at my front door asking for help. And he said he just came from a neighbor's house and he's emaciated, he's got tape around his legs, he's hungry and he's thirsty.
Need someone immediately.
You come in, my bed. I'm a police officer. Are you welcome? You need me?
I mean, one of the things that Jody really wanted to do was to buy a ranch property in Arizona and move these kids out to the middle of nowhere so that they could discipline them further.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just can't wrap my head around any motive or rational thought that would lead people to, like, and from Jody's jailhouse calls, like, I really believe that she doesn't think she's.
I don't care about the difficulty of a trial. I care about the difficulty of a trial and the children. I do understand that. That's I guess that's reason enough for sure. I totally understand that. But your job is to go through difficult trials. It's literally your job. And I feel like part of the justice system does this out of like, well, we got a long docket, we got everything on our plate. Let's try to get the best deal right now out of it, even if it's not going to get the justice that these kids deserve. Because it's not. I think that's worse. Get it all done right out of the way. Like, I understand people are like, well, it's going to put kids in the situation and then there's court and everything else. And look, I know I get that, but that's the justice that they're going to get in the end if you were allowed this to go on. They probably would have got charged with a lot more, in my opinion. I'm torn because, yeah, of course you don't want to put the kids through more trauma. But if it gets them more justice, then, you know.
In this case, Utah law puts a lid on the high end of how much time they can do in prison is 30 years. And so they could,
why is there ever a lid on anything? Why do you have a lid? Why is there a lid? If you do atrocious things, especially to children, why is there a lid? Well, there should be no lids. If you do crazy things like torture children, there should not be a limit to the amount of time you spend in prison. You shouldn't be put under the ground, first of all. But what do you need a lid? Why?
They could have pled to 100 counts of aggravated child abuse, and they still would have been a max of 30 years. So
that's so stupid. So you could have that seems, and nobody's like, okay, but why? So you could have pled to 100 counts of this and still only got maximum 30 years. So no matter what you do in Utah, you're ever only going to get 30 years.